Welcome to this Thursday edition of Fireside Chat. It's kind of a gloomy day out today, and we had a nice sunny day yesterday, but as we learned on Monday and talked about on Monday, what the weather's like does not dictate how I feel and how I operate today, because who's on the inside of me is far more real, far more hopeful, far more promising, far sunnier than the circumstances around me and the weather, certainly the weather around me. We're at a stage now. I want to talk to you today a little bit about kind of where we are in this stage of going through this journey of COVID-19 and how it's affecting our lives. In the beginning, there's an initial rush of emotions, probably fear for most of us, most of you, most of us. I had to deal with it too. And then we go into a different stage where this kind of becomes our normal. The things we used to do and think is normal, being able to go to stores normally, and now that's all different. We can't go to some stores. I can't get Molly groomed. Molly's getting furrier and furrier. And when we are able to go to some things, we got to remember to put a mask on. But what's happening is we're beginning to settle into that, and it's almost becoming a normal. And it reminded me of what the journey of marriage is. My wife and I will be married this year. I think it's 53 years. Yeah, 53 years. And it's been a journey. There's a very standard phases to a marriage in terms of the experience of it. There's the initial burst, which is the romance side, where, he's the most handsome thing I've ever seen. Wow, I'm so glad to have landed him. And he looks at her and says, whoo, you are something else. I've never seen anyone so beautiful. And in this initial phase of just we're together, we're now married, we're one, and all the joy of all that. And then there comes a point where she realizes that this most handsome thing that's ever lived doesn't know how to pick his clothes up, doesn't know how to clean up after himself, leaves dirty dishes in the sink. And he begins to realize this most beautiful vision that God has given to me has some moods I didn't realize. And she's not always this most beautiful thing in the morning that I used to see in the afternoon. And so there's an adjustment they go through when they begin to the reality of who they are in the relationship with each other begins to settle in. And it's a critical stage. And then if you learn to work that through together, you get to a stage which is the next phase, which is joy. So it's romance, disillusionment, and then joy. And joy is when you've begun to work these things together and realize that there's a bond there that's closer than what he looks like and what she looks like, that's closer than he doesn't pick his clothes up, and that she has moods, that's closer than that. And so there's this journey that you go through together. Well, I believe it's similar to anything we go through this over a period of time. So there's the initial fear, and some of us may still be dealing with fear, but we kind of settle into something that's sort of normal. But here's the danger of that, just as that can happen in a marriage, is you begin to lose focus on where you're going together. And if you'll keep your focus in a marriage, you'll realize that there is something beyond this. The difficult things we're going through can help us grow into a closer relationship. It really comes down to this. The challenges that we're having in our marriage, we can either use those to separate us, or we can use those to strengthen us as together we learn to overcome those. And it's a very similar thing in this process we're going through. It's easy to become complacent because, well, okay, I guess I may not be going to get this. I guess we're going to make it. And we kind of can settle into that and become complacent and not realize this is going to change at some point. We're going to come out the other end of this, and we're going to have, life may not be fully the way we thought it was going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. But what I want to get to this morning is we need to, in the middle of this time you're going through right now, begin to stay focused. Stay focused on what's important. Stay focused on this. It is a journey that I'm going on with my family. It is a journey I'm going on in my relationship with the Lord. It is a journey I'm going on in relationship with the church and my brothers and sisters. And what a journey implies is you start someplace and you're going somewhere else. So there's a beginning and there's an end, but there's a process that you have to walk out to get there. And so it's very important that you realize where you are in that journey. So in this journey that we're going through together with COVID-19, I know certain things. I know one thing, that God's hand is upon us to lead us. We're not going through this journey alone. Secondly, we're going through this journey together. And this is why it's so important to stay connected with one another. We also need to remember this journey has an end a goal in mind. Ultimately, the goal God has for us is to be with him in heaven. That's the eternal destiny. That's the eternal end of all of our journeys together. And that really is the hope that the Bible talks about. And we have to continue to build our faith in that so we're not afraid that the very worst thing that can happen to me is I die. Well, then I reach the end goal and I reach it successfully. But in the process, to keep our eyes on what's really important. And what's really important, the focus is our relationship with the Lord, our relationship with him through the Word. The Word is our foundation of our life, our relationships with one another. What matters to God is people. What matters to God is our relationship with him and our relationship with each other. So while you're confined in your home, while your routines have changed and they're upended, begin to focus on these things of what's really, really important. And the Spirit of God will help you stay focused. Jesus, when all the things came against him to distract him, there's a scripture that says he set his mind like flint. He set his mind to go to Jerusalem because he knew in Jerusalem was his ultimate purpose and destiny. It was to go to that cross, to be buried, and then to be raised again from the dead. That was his ultimate purpose in life. God has a purpose in life for you, a purpose in life for this church. So let's keep our focus on seeking what that is. And the Spirit of God will give you hope. He will give you courage, and he will come behind you to strengthen you and help you to arrive. I went a little longer than usual, but I just felt in my heart to get this and share this with you. We love you, appreciate you being part of this, and we'll look forward to tomorrow with another Fireside Chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you.